No bidding this morning. Very, very sorry. Howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. It is gray, diffuse, and while not cold, it is semi-chill. So, thumbs up for that. It might rain, might not, who can tell, especially here in the Pacific Northwest. And of course, front-loading of videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, that would be awesome. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be very cool. If you could leave me a comment, that'd be double plus good. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. And while I can't put them up here on the screen anymore, I can't edit on my laptop for the time being. It's easier to use Share Factory for this on the PlayStation 4. I do want to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons for helping to keep me and my aging pet metabolizing. I and my aging pet appreciate that to no end. If you would like to help keep me and my aging pet metabolizing, I have links to the video. I have links to the Patreon in the video description, as well as a PayPal for possible donations and an Amazon wishlist link that I desperately need to update. So yay, front loading of videos over, and oy vey, I am still suffering here. Oh boy. While I did get my infusion of antibiotics on Sunday, I am still drained. When I went out walkies yesterday to go up to Walmart to get my antibiotic, I was clumsier and much foggier than I normally am. I was dropping stuff. And this morning, I was out of bed at 6:30. It's 8:42. Took 2 hours. Back when I was starting to feel better and had lots of energy, I'd get up at 6:30 and at 7 o'clock I was ready to go. I hate being dragged down by all this. On the other hand, after that infusion, last night my leg didn't look that bad. The swelling was not as horrific. There was some redness, not as much, and while it was still tender, it was looking pretty good. And this morning, it actually looks pretty good. I couldn't actually see any redness. There is no real localized swelling, some general swelling, but it's extra tender right now. So that part's fun. So while I have cautious optimism again, I have also lost all of my optimism about this. Because what was it, Sunday? Yesterday? What the heck day is today? Tuesday? It must have been yesterday, Sunday, whatever day. I can't even remember. Oh my God, my brain, this illness, joy. But I got a call from the people to set up an appointment at the infusion clinic. There we go. That was hard to say. Thank you very much. But I got a call to set up an appointment to get the second infusion next week. So we set up an appointment, and then an hour later they called me up to cancel the appointment because I'd already gotten the previous infusion not even a month ago. So they canceled quickly the other infusion, which makes me think, if they had to cancel that one so quickly because I'd already had an infusion this month, did I get hurt by getting a third infusion within a month? Uh-oh. I don't feel anything, but remember, our bodies are like most bodies out in the rest of the world, and we don't often feel things that are happening inside of us when they go wrong. There are people that are literally going bad inside and they don't feel a thing. We have very, very few pain receptors and such like that on our inside. So if I got damaged, I might not ever know. I mean, when I was being an alcoholic and destroying my liver, I didn't really feel anything in my liver. I damaged my kidneys from dehydration. I never really felt it, especially since you can lose an entire kidney and be fine. Your body can take a lot of damage without letting you know because of the redundancies. But when it uses up all the backup, suddenly, then you know. But it's a little late then. It would have been nice to have some warning before the bam, it's all gonna stop stage. So I don't know if I've been damaged somehow inside. Now, if you survive something, then you're okay, you're gonna live. I mean, it may add, it may subtract years onto your lifespan, but our lifespan is a variable thing. Each thing we do on a daily basis adds to it or subtracts to it minute by minute. And then of course you can always get hit by a bus. So, but they canceled that appointment, which means I now just have, I don't know where I put the bottle, just doxycycline to take for the next 10 days. My next appointment to try and get a local person through the Mason General, the hospital here, to try and just get a doctor is the end of May. It took less than 2 weeks for this thing to reverse and go south last time. What am I going to do in a month and a week? Yeah, I'm probably going to be up at the ER again once, twice before I get to see the doctor. And each time they put me on antibiotics, it is a matter of not if, but when I'm going to get something like C. diff going on inside of me, because they wipe out all of my normal flora and fauna, leaving really bad stuff to come in and colonize. That's not good. So it's wonderful, but on the other hand, that's not everything. But it is why I can't really think of a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. I'm going to mention this though. I had talked before how I had gotten some corns on the outside of my toes, my little toes on my feet. Now a corn is just, you build up calluses normally just by walking and putting pressure and stuff. Back when I was married and with my wife, the way I drank sodas was to grab it up at the top, a 2-liter bottle with just one hand and then drink, which meant the lid dug hard into the edge of my finger. I developed a huge callus ring across there because of what was happening when I tipped the bottle. Took a while for that to go away after I stopped doing that. When you rub the outside of your toes on the inside of your shoe, you're going to build up calluses. Now, I don't know why this part happens, but the corn part of it is a little nugget, hard nugget of callus forms, and it is irregular and it's got points. So you put a little pressure on it and it is digging into your soft, unprotected tissue underneath it, and that hurts. So I had gotten some salicylic acid corn treatment things and put them on the outside of my toes for 4 days. And oh boy, at the end of that 4 days, it was torture. But then I took them off and it kind of stopped hurting. And then the calluses there continued to do things until they stopped hurting. And just the other day, actually, I reached down and peeled off that whole section of callus from my toe. And inside of that was the little sharp, hard section of callus. So thank goodness those things work so that you can get the hard little rocks out of your body. And the problem is, of course, as it pushes down, it's going to start building up more callus underneath it, which ends up being sharp, and it's nasty. So, hey, salicylic acid works to burn off corns and such. It being acid, no. Past that, again, not a whole lot. I've been trying to think on the creative front and all of the various things and the cosmological settings and what's going on in everywhere. Now, I had mentioned, of course, that since I'm going to be talking in 9 minutes here, I'm going to be talking about my creative setting and such. That there's the inside, outside, and there's the cryptid setting, and they are, while completely different, not. because I have already posited that within my setting we have at least 3 sets of chromosomes. One of them normal matter, 2 of them extra universal. And if they do not get stimulation, they do not express in any way. From the inside and the razor's edge, that too is the set of chromosomes that can express. When they do, the biggest thing about the inside and the razor's edge is they have to use glamours to travel, because everything outside of observable, persistent areas is that gray fog of superpositional. Anything can be there. So there is no space. If you have a town here and a town here and they are 10 miles apart, you can never walk between them. You couldn't. Even if they were 5 miles apart, you'd never be able to walk there, because when you leave here, you leave its point of stability and persistence. You wander out here, your trail of persistence fades behind you. You become your own personal layer. But your own personal layer is not attached to anything. So you'll wander forever, seeing amazing things. But it's all on your own personal level that fades back into superposition as you wander, and persistence fades. Persistence lasts about an hour. Observation, of course, is you just see, and you're in the middle of a 3,000 circumference meter bubble. There's 1,500 meters around you, and everything without that drops out of the superposition to become part of your personal layer. Lasts for an hour outside of your observational bubble. So you'll never be able to walk any place. Now you can travel wherever you want to go, because you just have to think of your hometown. There is a connection made between the two of you, between glamours, and then you just effectively, metaphorically, there is, with that connection, a line between you and your destination. You are effectively hooking a tether to that line and then walking along the line to your destination. You are traveling through micro layers to get there, but you eventually be going glamour to glamour to glamour to glamour to glamour. You just travel, and it's like walking to where you have to go. Only you are walking through the superposition to your destination. That's all of these places. Now, if I try to remember what I was talking about on that. Oh yes, that's what if you have those inside, outside genes that express, you can see doors and glamours. Gamifying it, putting numbers on it, if you have a very low sight, then you're only going to be able to see the biggest glamours, the biggest doors. You're not going to be able to do a whole lot of traveling that way. But if you don't have that, you're not really going to know that you're missing anything. The greater your sight, the more glamours, the more doors that you can see, and you begin to be able to do something that normally you have to walk and travel at a one-to-one basis. If you're going to go 1 kilometer, it doesn't matter if you're using glamours, it still takes you 1 kilometer to walk 1 kilometer. The greater your vision, your sense of sight, you can skip micro layers as you walk. You can travel 1 kilometer while only traversing about 2/3. And the stronger your sense of sight, the more micro layers you can skip as you travel along the glamours. There are some, like a character called Old Ray, who at the time of the whole project that I've got, taking my time, the whole project that I've got, he's about 700 years old. He has such a sense of sight that when he really focuses and pushes, he can travel thousands of kilometers for every kilometer that he travels. So he can move when he really concentrates. But we out here are not exposed to that energy of the inside. Our genes don't express, except for about 2% of the population of the world has the sight, and they can see glamours and doors. There are very few glamours out here. There's just not enough of that inside energy. It's getting down converted into normal energy by the time it pumps out the doors, but there's just enough that leaks out that there are the occasional glamour. But the doors are big, and one of the biggest is the door that leads to the Apple Rock layer, Razor's Edge, sorry, to the Apple Rock Razor's Edge. It is huge. If you have any form of sight and you're in the United States, just entering South Carolina, because Brookerton, the fictional town of Brookerton along the fictional Samadan River, the door there dominates. You enter South Carolina, you can't help but notice that that door is there. No matter where you are. The farther away you get out of South Carolina, the less its influence, but still you are aware of that door for quite some distance out of even South Carolina. This door is massive. If you have the 2% though, you can see the doors. You can travel along glamours. You can travel along what few layers there are out here around those doors. Then of course there's the 2% of the population out here where their cryptid genes express and they gain vision. They are supposed to transition into a cryptid, but with their genetic defect everything changes except their physical bodies. They stay human. But these people are able to interact with and see the cryptid world. Only about 2% of the cryptid people are able to have their sight so they can see and access the inside-outside glamours and doors. 2% of those with the sight that can travel with glamours can detect and interact with the cryptid world. Only 2% of human beings out here can do all that. So if you have a normal human being out here that transitions into a cryptid, one of the 2% that transitions but fails and stays human but can interact with the cryptid world, of that 2%, then only 2% of them are able to have their sight develop so that they can use glamours. It's a very, very small number of people that can interact with many. And of course, taking my time, I do have one character that is a part of the cryptid world, but is also part of the inside-outside Razor's Edge. Trevor Savick. This is a person from the Razor's Edge that their cryptid vision also develops. Their third eye opens. They like to hang out with the dark cryptids, the dangerous cryptids, the cryptids that will eat you just because you looked at them funny. He hangs out with them and gets along with them great because that is like being on the Razor's Edge. On the Razor's Edge, being eaten as a cause of death is always in the top 10 reasons of death. Often it's in the top 5. During bad years, the top 3. So it's like being home when he hangs out with the cryptids. But he also has a business in Apple Rock, so he is horrified and just demolished when the kaiju rampages and eats the, 12,000 plus people in Apple Rock and destroys the place so that in total 15,000 out of 25,000 dead. At least 12,500 of those just eaten by the kaiju. He survived because he was on a business trip out here and hanging out with his cryptid friends. So life can be fun. And I've opened up 24 hours with the comments on my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce a username, the way I'm feeling right now, definitely no disrespect, but I'm lucky I speak English at all. So, I'm not even going to talk about how I count, because I count. but that's mainly just for stimming purposes, being a high-functioning autistic person. Take off my glasses so I can see. Nexor EH, I sincerely hope my new antibiotic infusion hasn't damaged me, because I probably shouldn't have gotten it. So I have no idea what's going on, but it's good to see you, and hopefully your dialysis is going better than it has. We have Jesse Koskinen. I love just what they've done with the cave updates in Minecraft. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Chris, thumbs up, thank you. Good to see you. Shinra, I can tame foxes with berries? Actually tame them so that they won't run away and stuff? Okay, we're gonna do that, definitely. It's Relit, thumbs up, thank you. And yeah, I prefer cold. I function well in cold. I like being warm, but I do not do well in heat at all. And of course, it's gonna keep getting warmer and warmer every single year I'm alive. We have JAYY, thumbs up, thank you. And yeah, I like I don't know where I am, but again, I like putting the music in, but I put it in way too loud, and it's got lyrics, so I gotta redo all that. Oy vey. I'm glad people liked it. It's just, I don't know whether it was the rendering or the YouTube processing, but when I did the mixing here, the music was fine. But when it was just way too loud after processing for me, I was horrified. We have Bazinga, thumbs up, and thank you. Floramu, greatly appreciated. And yeah, default is, we need more representation for non-default. We have IIARSKII_VFX, thumbs up, thank you very much. And I've been wanting to do more, but it's hard to just do anything at all. I'm so drained by this injury in my leg. We have Stephen Blanchard, thumbs up, thank you, greatly appreciated. Confused Owl, good to see you in the comments. I hope to see you more often. Let's see, we have Sean the Bond, thumbs up and thank you. There's RJ Mitchell, always good to see you in the comments, my friend, thumbs up and thank you much. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated, good to see you. We have KYOKASANAGI, thumbs up, thank you much, and here's hoping. And then Cake, thumbs up and thank you. I'm doing my best. And Clavicle Skeletoni, greatly appreciated, thumbs up, thank you all so very much. You got me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, and that is indeed a very good thing. Oi. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with the state of my health and my leg. I got to call the VA and try and get a recommendation from them so I can even get a doctor. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I love being high-functioning autistic. It's fun being, non-neurotypical, neurodivergent. I like to use a-neurotypical because neurodivergent sounds so not good, but still, I'm going to do what I can do today while still doing as best I can so my bloody leg can heal. Because it really hurts today. Looks great, but hurts. Hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done. That would be awesome as well. But if you can't, survival is important. Worry about that. Hokey smokes. So yeah, once again, I am just going to take the day clear. And so you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And once again, this is probably going to be the last time I'm going to talk about this, but just to talk about the picture on my desktop. Because once again, it is a beautiful picture of a sweet and awesome world where nobody gets hurt. It is a wonderful place, and the picture itself is of a snake swallowing a young woman. She swallowed down the snake's throat, just her feet from the ankles outside of the snake's mouth, and here you can see her body really good through the skin of the snake. And it's just a few more swallows and she'll be down in its tummy and it'll digest her alive. Because yeah, it is a sweet and beautiful world where nobody ever gets hurt, and snakes have bountiful young women that they can swallow and digest alive whenever they want. It is a beautiful and awesome picture. So, until we meet again, this time finally, I'm going to come up with an actual ending here soon. I'm pretty sure of it, because, yeah, it was funny at first, and then it became halfway funny. Now it's just habit, and that's not good enough reason to end the videos with me waving my controller around. I'll come up with something.